your communities. Insist that your communities continue moving forward. Now, we're going to wrap this up. My introduction has pretty much concluded, but I'm going to challenge all of you in the first task. Introductions. How brief can you be is the challenge. Okay, now we're going to start with far left side, my left side of the room. State your name, ideally your social security number, who you're representing, and ideally what you want to achieve today. Let's start with this young lady on the left.
Myself as a private individual and professional growing in the environmental space, and I'm looking forward to learning more about municipal planning and sustainability planning.
Welcome, and we also have microphones at each table. Yeah, we have I think it's right now the number is 217,000 people online. So who's next? This young lady behind you.
Hey, good morning. My name is Jen Maddox. I'm representing Village of Glencoe, and I am pretty new to sustainability planning and local government, so I'm looking forward to learning from all of you.
Welcome.
Johanna Stroshine, Cook County Department of Environment and Sustainability. I'm hoping to connect with my fellow municipal leaders and align on our sustainability planning.
And just for everyone's benefit, where is Cook County? I'm just, you'll get the flow soon.
Hi, I'm Monica Richard. I'm representing the Village of Schaumburg, and I'm hoping to learn more, hopefully, about implementation of sustainability plans.
How's Mayor Daley doing?
Good.
Good to hear.
Hi, everyone. I am Kunal Chawla. I am representing Run on Climate. We're a nonprofit that helps elect local leaders, mayors, city councilors who are going to be future climate champions.
Welcome.
Morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Shader from the River Forest Sustainability Commission, and just here to learn and contribute.
My mother went to Dominican. Yep.
My name is Zach McCann. I am with the Village of Maywood, and I'm here to broaden my perspectives.
Yeah, we got a big contingent from Maywood today. Life is good, man. Yes.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Bain. I am the Assistant Village Manager of Maywood, and our community engagement department is now called the Economics, Innovation, and Sustainability Department. And so I'm here to learn everything around sustainability.
EIS. I like it.
That's correct. Hi, my name is Ian Canovi. I am also part of the EIS department at the Village of Maywood, as well as consulting through Sandhill Planning, LLC.
Welcome, Ian.
Good morning, everyone. Regan Stockstill. I'm village manager with Richton Park, Illinois. We are a GRC2 community and just come out to see what's new.
And we have the highest regard for your mayor. He's a good guy. He owes me money, in fact.
Hey, I'm Zach Marhenka. I'm with the Chicagoland Donut Economics Coalition and University of Chicago Institute for Climate and Sustainable Growth.
Fantastic.
Glenn Gabriel, Village of Westmont Environmental Improvement Committee.
Janine Smith, village manager, yes, I am. Palos Park, Illinois, and we have been a GRC member for, I don't know how long. You could tell me more. I've only been there 2 months. Long time.
Long time.
Hi, Farida Manai, private individual from St. Louis, here to learn more about sustainability planning.
St. Louis, welcome. I used to hang out in Laclede's Landing all the time.
Good morning.
We'll talk later.
Oh, sorry. Good morning, Terrence Samuel, president of Community Solar Illinois.
Welcome, Terrence.
Thank you.
So far, we're doing great on the brevity thing.
Good morning, Joe Ravindran. I work for the 40th Ward Alderperson of the City of Chicago. Here similarly to learn how to go from reports to implementation and how to depoliticize and prioritize environmental efforts.
Well said.
Hi all, I'm Emma Herbanis. I'm with the Midwest Energy Efficiency Alliance and excited to learn more about how I can support communities in this work.
We're big fans of your work.
Likewise.
Oh, shucks.
Hello, I'm Juliana Martinez Romero. I'm in the neighborhood of Little Village. I work in energy efficiency, helping families electrify their homes and lower their emissions.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Victor Schultz from US EPA Region 5, and we're here to figure out how we can support our local partners.
Heck yeah. Welcome, Region 5.
Hi, I'm Gabby Baldessari. I'm with the Village of Woodridge. I'm also on the Environmental Commission for Downers Grove. And I'm curious to see, I think Woodridge is one of the newer members to the Greenest Region Compact. So curious to see what we can do next and what I can bring back.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Laurie. I am representing the Village of Montgomery. And I'm here we got a strategic plan and we just want to incorporate more sustainability aspects into it. So looking to see what's happening in the local area.
You're from my neck of the woods.
Oh, are you? Okay.
I live in Geneva.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're not too far at all.
I've never been to Montgomery.
Yeah, it's just south of Aurora. So.
Mayor's a nice guy too.
Yeah, he is.
He's a little. Yeah, please do. He's probably on the camera right now, for God's sake.
Hello, I'm Gabrielle Foreman. I'm a student at NIU and I aspire to go into municipal sustainability as a career, and so I'm here to learn.
Did you cruise in from DeKalb?
No, from Rockford.
Even further, Rockford. Welcome. How's McNamara doing? Good.
Ernst Jones, Village of Westchester trustee, looking to help take us to the next level when it comes to sustainability and the environment.
Cruised through Westchester this morning and I noticed your statue. It's very impressive.
Thanks. I'm Brad Roos. I'm the Executive Director of Sustain Rockford in Rockford, Illinois, beautiful Rockford, Illinois, and I'm here to pick up tools to help our city implement our climate action plan.
Thank you, sir.
Elise Steiner from the Village of Winnetka.
Welcome.
Noah Rife, Village of Brookfield, learning how to build things more with more scalability.
I'm glad you're here. Where's my friend from 85th and Stony?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Tanis Williamson. I'm with the City of Chicago's Department of Environment. I oversee the city's climate action plan and looking forward to learning what other people around this, well, not just around the city, but like around the state of Illinois are doing in this space.
Good morning. My name is Anna Wolf. I'm with the Cook County Bureau of Economic Development, and I'm here to make sure that the county's goals around climate resilience align with the communities.
Thank you, Anna.
Good morning. My name is Erin Newman. I work for US EPA Region 5. I've worked with the Greenest Region Compact as a friend for a long time, and I work in the climate energy section there.
Morning, I'm Josh Lane. I'm the assistant to the village manager for Mount Prospect, and I'm here to kind of see what's going on outside of our little city of 56,000, see what the rest of the county's got going on.
We're going to be in Mount Prospect not too long from now talking transportation.
I'll be there.
Very exciting. And congratulations to Mount Prospect for passing the autism awareness program for your police department. That was well done. It's called the Blue Card program. Nicely done.
Good morning. My name is Stephen McBride, McBride Management. I'm a consultant for sustainability. I actually consult with Imani Village, where we had the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus awardee. So we've been doing energy efficiency series. So I'm getting more skills in workforce development and sustainability along the way.
Welcome, sir. Now I'm going to ask we got some newcomers and online. So who's the newcomer? Edith, help me out. We're good?
Hi, I'm Mark Adovitz. I'm a consultant with Product Partners to do product management consulting.
Welcome, sir. Anyone else who just arrived who wants to say hello? Otherwise, we're going to rely on my good friends Tori and Cheryl and Juliet to help with the online introductions.
Robert Wagner.
Yes, Robert Wagner, Salt Creek Sanitary District, member of Go Green Villa Park, hoping to help our village um, implement the climate action plan and, of course, coordinate with some of the commitments we've made in the Greenest Region Compact.
Thank you, sir.
Aaron Groskoff.
Sure. Aaron Groskoff here with the City of Rolling Meadows.
Welcome, Aaron.
Anisha.
We can move on to the next guest.
Dan Manning.
Good morning.
Kate
I'm
B.
just I'm with the Village of Westchester. I'm just here to learn about sustainability. So thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Kate B. Chris Murphy.
Hi, everyone. Chris Murphy, sustainability advocate, just here to learn how I can support more activities in our community.
Kim Stewart.
Hello, Kristen Ifner and Krishna Varna. We're with the City of Elgin and looking forward to learning from others. And we implemented a plan last year, so also kind of curious on next step tasks like getting people involved with actions and sharing progress.
Thank you, Elgin.
Christy De Laurentiis.
Hi, good morning. Christy De Laurentiis with the South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association. We represent 45 member municipalities in the South Suburbs and just here to participate and bring best practices back to local communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy.
Marie Higginson.
Hello, Marie Higginson from the City of Rolling Meadows, just here to learn more from other communities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Melanie Nutter.
Hi there, good morning. My name is Melanie Nutter. I'm the principal of Nutter Consulting. We support municipalities in developing their sustainability strategies and plans, and just excited to hear more about what's happening in all the communities that are here and also more about the framework. Thanks.
Thank you.
Natalie Grimaldi.
Hi, I'm Natalie Grimaldi. I'm here with LRS, but I'm also here for personal reasons. I was a GRC member for Highland Park a couple years ago, but then also here as a representative of LRS to see how we can support other communities.
Big shout out to LRS. Thank you.
Robert Israel.
Yes, Bob Israel here from Village of Northbrook. We instituted a climate action plan in 2021. I just posted our latest update, which we got in last Tuesday, which represents an update from last year. We're tracking at roughly 50% less greenhouse gases than were released from 2010. So we're on target. So we're doing okay. There is progress out there, and we're here to encourage others to follow suit.
We applaud the progress. Well done.
Patrick Donnelly.
Hi, good morning. Patrick Donnelly, recent master's degree graduate in the space, just here for professional development.
Welcome, sir.
Robert Wagner.
Are there two Robert Wagners? One of the greatest actors of our time. You guys, okay, whoever's too young to know that reference.
Okay.
I dare you to knock this off.
Sarah Henshaw.
Sarah from Kane County.
Hi, Sarah Henshaw here. Yes, Kane County Sustainability Manager, and I'm just here to learn more.
Welcome.
Sylvia Kay.
Hello, Sylvia Kokoschka with HR Green, a sustainability consultant for the Village of Riverwoods. Interested to hear more about what others are doing across Illinois.
Taylor Udarby. Vabhav Kotwal. I think that's it.
Fantastic. Congratulations to you all. Brevity is the better part of wisdom. And now we're going to shift gears from who cares about brevity? We've got a 30-minute presentation by Edith. Edith Macker, ladies and gentlemen, the director of literally all the good work we do. I've worked with Edith now for almost 10 years. She has been with the caucus for, good Lord.
A long time.
A long time, yes. In fact, she was with the caucus when the greenhouse gas emissions were only 1. So we're delighted to have her with us. Please focus your attention. And of course, we want to make certain we're engaging. So if there are questions, raise your hand and we'll get to you ASAP. Okay? Thanks, everybody.
Of course, the rise in greenhouse gas emissions have nothing to do with Mayor Burns' hot air. I'm sorry, did I say? He's not paying attention anyway. So I'm Edith Macker. I am an environment director for the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus. I would also like to introduce my amazing team. So over to the team there.
Hi, Cheryl Scott with the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus.
Good morning, Tori Woolbright. I'm the energy specialist with the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus. Excited to hear from you all.
And I was reflecting as we were scrambling to get this event together for the first ever Chicago Climate Week, that when we launched the Greenest Region Compact, I was flying solo. So how nice it is to have an amazing team with us, including Mayor Burns, who helps us get so much work done. So when you all signed up, and I know a few more of you snuck in late here, but we're going to keep going with why we're all here. So we asked you when you registered, what are you hoping to get out of the workshop? And so Tori generated this word cloud. And as we were hoping, we see a lot of municipalities that are ready for sustainability planning. So that's really the main focus of why we're here. We have those of you like Northbrook and Elgin that have a climate action plan or a sustainability plan and you want to talk about action. We've got some of that too. Some of you are interested in specific strategies and we'll touch on that a little bit, but the real focus is going to be on getting the sustainability plan rolling. And then a few others you can see there, climate justice, data, like I said, energy specific programs there. And we hope to address your interest today. And if we don't, we'll conclude with other ways for you to stay engaged with us. So I'm glad to have you all here. And I am going to start with why we work together as a region. So the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, we're a not-for-profit regional council of governments serving 275 municipalities in the Chicago region. Glad to have Rockford and DeKalb, also members of the Mayor's Caucus here. And if you were confused by why you came into the CMAP offices, we share offices here. So we're CMAP's roommate. But we have the same geographic region. We are a not-for-profit regional council of governments. And I'll talk about the Greenest Region Compact tool to introduce that to you. It is a tool that we have that exists in 3 parts, the actual compact, the Greenest Region Compact framework, and then all the things that we do collaboratively to achieve the goals together. I'm going to talk about climate action planning because it's a thing now. Not only is this Climate Week, but we've had a lot of action on climate planning in our region. The Greenest Region Compact is 10 years, 4 months, and a couple of days old. So it is time to update it. And that's what we're now doing with a lot of great advice and input and time. And we will complete that update in the next year or so on a reporting and tracking tool. So we'll talk about what's ahead for that. And then the last 50 minutes or so, we'd like to work with you to use the GRC framework tool in a workshop format. So the Greenest Region Compact, I should ask, everyone can hear okay online before we're all good? Okay, great. We are recording this. I think you heard that for later reference. But the Greenest Region Compact exists to align environmental resources and actions at the local, regional, and national levels to guide municipalities to achieve greater environmental sustainability. And I want to talk about building the Greenest Region Compact because I think it explains, not only will help you understand it, but the Greenest Region Compact is successful and inclusive. And I think the design is why we can say that we've had good success engaging municipalities of all sizes and strengths very broadly. So when we built the Greenest Region Compact, which goes back more than 10 years ago. It was launched 10 years ago. But we have municipalities, we had a couple of municipalities that were high achievers in sustainability. These are the greenest communities that we have. Won't mention names, but they're the ones who are always winning awards and always being recognized. And we had other municipalities that said, we're not really doing sustainability. Wish we could, but we don't have the bandwidth for that. And so to kind of ground truth that, we came up with the idea of doing an achievements inventory. So we went and looked at all the municipalities in our region. We went downstate as well and said, wait a minute, if we go into some databases, you've got a grant on energy efficiency, you have a farmer's market, you have a complete streets policy. So we looked into all of these things and tallied them. And then what you're seeing here is a bar chart that says it's color coded for how, what kind of category of achievement. But for right now, focus on the fact that there is an elite group of municipalities. 1% of the municipalities are elite. These super high achievers, they're doing all these sustainability things. We have other high achievers, but we found that nearly 3/4 of the region's municipalities were working on sustainability, but they seemed most ripe for help. So the Greenest Region Compact really meant to be inclusive for communities of all sizes and strengths. While we learn from these high achievers and these leaders, we work together, but we're designing tools to really lift up those municipalities that are, I call it the zero depth pool on sustainability. And you don't know it, but you're in the pool already. You might be up to your ankles or your knees. And we've got leading communities that are in the deep end, but we're all in the pool together. And we'll talk about more swimming in a little bit here. So then the next step was, okay, if we wanted to create a sustainability platform, tool, guidance for municipalities, let's listen to each other. And those of you in the municipal sector know we do a lot of sharing. Municipalities work together very closely in councils of governments like ours or sub-regional councils of governments like Metro West Council of Governments. So sharing, let's look at what the municipalities have done. So this is at the beginning of the Greenest Region Compact. We've had more than a doubling of the sustainability plan since then. But we use this as an analysis to say, okay, Elgin, you had a sustainability plan. What were your goals? And let's look at what Batavia had, and let's look at what Evanston had, and look where there was alignment. And so that's what this exercise did. So we looked at 1,149 sustainability goals, lots of spreadsheets, and we picked those sustainability goals apart, those sustainability plans apart, and reassembled them into the Greenest Region Compact framework goals. And that is the foundation for the Greenest Region Compact. So now into how we move it forward, got all this data, and we synthesized all those goals into the Greenest Region Compact in these 10 categories. And these are very familiar, and if you're in corporate sustainability, this is very familiar to you, but this is all tailored for local governments. So that was the whole Greenest Region Compact is about local governments. So these are the categories, and the goals for the Greenest Region Compact are very straightforward and simple. So there are 49 of them. But importantly, they exist on just 2 pages, which is important when we want to garner political support for this. And so to adopt the Greenest Region Compact, and raise your hand if you're a Greenest Region Compact community. I think you said that. So we ask the municipalities to pass a resolution supporting these goals. And the commitment is to understand the goals and agree to support them and work towards them, both in your community and collaboratively across the region. And that's the only commitment. And that resolution, or that municipal process of resolution, Mayor Burns, do you want to pipe up on that? You want me to explain why a resolution is important? Sure. The idea of, for a municipal resolution is it's not just the mayor's signature who thinks it's a good idea, or a staff saying we're going to do this. There is a public process. We have another mayor in the room if you want to talk about why that dialogue happens, but it's a decision the community makes together. The village board, the mayor, the staff, and the residents can participate in that decision. And some have deliberated about it for a long time. Others said, great, let's do it. Did I miss anything, Mayor, on the resolution? So it's proven to be really great in participation. So we have 160 of our municipalities, or 58% of all the municipalities in our service area of 275 have adopted the Greenest Region Compact goals. And counties, we're a mayor's caucus, but counties came to us and said, it was Kane County first, came to us and said, this would be helpful for us. So now 6 of the 7 counties in the region also support the Greenest Region Compact, as well as 10 sub-regional councils of government. So we're a regional one, the sub-regional ones that mostly operate at a county scale, like DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference, have all gotten behind the Greenest Region Compact. So that's the political part. And then how do you move it forward in your community? And that's the Greenest Region Compact framework. We're coming back to this as the focus of the workshop, but just to see it in context, this is the second part of the GRC. And the framework is aligned with the goals, but it tells you how to get there. And then the third part of the GRC, which I have the most fun with because I'm not a planner, I'm a doer. That's what we do here at the caucus, get things done, we hope. But we work together collaboratively to achieve Greenest Region Compact goals. And one program, Cheryl was pressing me to include many more successful examples, but for brevity, we'll start with the Soul Smart program, which was really around shortly after we launched the Greenest Region Compact, and it taught us about that alignment between Greenest Region Compact goals and leveraging programs and resources like we had hoped. So at a national level, those in the solar industry and other advocates said, you know, the one barrier to making solar really accessible that we haven't touched yet is what they called soft costs or municipal processes. So does it take too long to get a permit, or does your zoning code even prohibit rooftop solar? So they came up with a checklist. We said, oh, well, look at that. There's an alignment with the Greenest Region Compact goal that says enact policies that support clean energy. And so we recruited our first cohort of Greenest Region Compact adopters and worked together to earn Soul Smart. We did that 2 more times, and then we created a program of our own called EV Readiness, which is the same template of let's do what municipalities do well and work towards the goal together and leverage resources for that. And that worked very well for us. So this example is about the Greenest Region Compact working regionally. So while the caucus worked together, led these cohorts, that put Illinois as the #1 state for the number of Soul Smart designated communities. And just pause a minute there so that we're up against California, Colorado. The one that's closest nipping at our heels still, Cheryl, is Minnesota. But Illinois is #1, and that's because we work together. And then how it worked locally, Schaumburg is always the one that we cite because they set up a little tracker when they were issuing permits and they were in the Soul Smart program, so they could track every permit that came through that was specific for solar. And Monica, I think you helped us update the number. You want to shout it out? Because you don't remember, it's on the slide, I'll be cheating for you. But they tracked a 21,433% increase in the number of rooftop solar permits in Schaumburg since becoming Soul Smart, and that's over a period of 8 years. So, yay. So those of you that came looking for action, we're really proud of this one. We have other programs like that can be helpful. So on an ongoing basis, so if you're not ready to jump in on Soul Smart or you don't have a sustainability plan yet, you as a local government are welcome to join our Environment and Energy Committee. So you want to give it a shout out, Chairman Burns?
And what am I shouting out again?
Why they should participate in the Environment Committee and what we do together?
Well, first and foremost, you should participate because there's no other organization that I'm aware of that collects such intelligent and passionate people where we can all learn from each other. But secondly, it's because you then are going to be held accountable in your respective communities. And we're going to help you maintain that accountability by moving all this forward. So join us, be involved, ask questions. We understand sometimes it's a big lift, but I guarantee it's going to be rewarding.
Thank you. And Mayor Burns leads the Environment Committee. We have lively meetings. We mostly meet online now, so it's very easy to participate, an incredibly wide range of topics. But relevant to the GRC, every topic that we have is aligned with the GRC. Every agenda has the Greenest Region Compact goals and now the Climate Action Plan goals, so that you know if this is something you're working on, We're going to have a conversation about it, and then we also provide resources. And Cheryl put together this picture of dark skies, which it has to do with conserving energy and protecting wildlife and public health. But we assembled our peers here, and I know you're in the room, so we got the model ordinance from Homer Glen. Where's Homer Glen here? Thought I heard. No, in the introductions. And then Westmont. Westmont had a really innovative program on dark skies. And so we share those resources. We also share, how do you become a dark sky community? And we're going to be adding to that a policy guide that was developed for us by University of Illinois law students to further that. So we keep things moving forward with the Greenest Region Compact. We have a meeting tomorrow. You'll see a QR code at the end of this if you want to participate. So on to climate action planning. So again, Climate Week here, the climate action planning, and I don't have a lot of time in the agenda here to talk about it, but I want you to just kind of pay attention to those logos there. What that means is that Chicago region has become a powerhouse for climate planning, and we've had some incredible partners working with us. So happy to talk more about that, but I'm just going to zero in on how do climate action plans influence municipal sustainability and how we integrate it with the Greenest Region Compact. So here's the timeline of climate action planning. You can see really Mayor Burns has been around, he said, for 10 years, and all this action has occurred very recently. But Chicago was the first in the region to have its own City of Chicago Climate Action Plan, and that was a benchmark for a long time. Then we launched the Greenest Region Compact in 2016, and it is not a climate action plan, just to be clear. It wasn't until in 2017, when the U.S. pulled out of the Paris Agreement, that the Mayor's Caucus answered the challenge, and Mayor Burns was there at the very beginning, and said, okay, let's step it up on climate. And so a couple of years of seeking assistance, we got incredible partnerships from the European Union and from NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, as well as many others, to do the first climate action plan for the region. It was part of a national program. It's only the third regional sustainability plan in the United States. And it was the first for the Chicago region. And of all the climate action plans that you'll see, there's just 3 more, but it is the only one at the regional level to include adaptation. It is also the only one that is wholly focused on what local governments can do. So we're going to come back to this plan as kind of a benchmark in terms of how it's structured. More communities have subsequently created their own sustainability plan. We heard from Elgin and Northbrook in the introductions. Skokie has some. Other communities have done really good work on climate action plan in Kane County. But then in 2024, under the Inflation Reduction Act, the US EPA created a program and said, this is the time for states to come together and do a climate action plan, as well as regions. So they made grants to more than 80 regions, and then any state that wanted to participate. It was a 3-year project, and the Chicago region, again, had an opportunity to create a climate action plan with assistance and funding from the US EPA. So the first step, we worked very closely with CMAP on this one. And the Mayor's Caucus kicked out the very quick Priority Climate Action Plan in 2024 to align with the EPA grant program and to enable participants in that grant program. Then CMAP, who is our regional planning agency, got to work on the Serious Plan. And so that one they just launched this March. And this is a very robust plan. The climate pollution reduction grants are on mitigation only, and they are sector-wide. So that means there are strategies in there for the state and for industry in CMAP's comprehensive climate action plan called the CCAP. So climate action plans, what does it mean to have a climate action plan? Fundamentally, all climate action plans focus on climate mitigation, which is reducing emissions to slow impacts of climate change. I'm drawing some goals from the CAP that we wrote in 2021, and our goal on mitigation is net zero greenhouse gas emissions. Most climate action plans, not all, have adaptation, and that says that climate change is here, very much here in the Chicago region this summer. It's been a rough one. But while we're dealing with this change, we need to adapt policies, investments, and actions to build resilience to the impacts of climate change. And resilience means that if you get knocked back with flooding or an extreme event, that you don't just bounce back, you bounce forward. That's what we mean by resilience. And our goal from the CAP is persistent, equitable climate adaptation. So equity is a big part of the climate action planning. All climate action plans start with baseline measurements. you start with a greenhouse gas emissions inventory to say, where are we right now? On adaptation, you do a climate risk and vulnerability assessment. It says, how is climate change going to impact us? Who's going to be harmed? What's going to be lost if we suffer these extremes? And then a climate action plan sets science-based targets. And CMAP did this with the help of the CPRG funding from EPA to model, okay, here's our greenhouse gas emissions in the transportation sector, and what would have to happen to get us to our goal of reducing emissions over time. So then you set a target from that, and side by side, a climate action plan and a sustainability plan, just so you don't get lost in the terminology here. It's rather straightforward. A climate action plan has focused strategies, and because it's about mitigation or greenhouse gas emissions reduction, you're looking at the sources of those, and it's usually in energy and transportation. Building energy is the highest source of emissions in the region. Transportation's number 2. So all of the strategies involve reducing the consumption of fossil fuels. And sometimes, as I said, climate action plan has adaptation as well. Whereas a sustainability plan is broader than that. So it has a diverse set of strategies that includes energy and transportation and includes how we reduce emissions, but it also looks at issues that are very important to quality of life, sustainable communities, healthy vibrancy, conservation. What do we care about the natural world? And then one program that we're very focused on here is on waste and recycling. And those are really important to a community, and we should work on them, but they're not necessarily going to be high sources of emissions reduction. If you combine all the actions in waste and recycling, water, meaning distribution of water, and wastewater in the Chicago region, it's less than 3% of our emissions. But it matters, right? Clean water matters, and all of these issues matter. So that's addressed more broadly in the sustainability plan. A climate action plan is based on that greenhouse gas inventory. And for a sustainability plan, you can use regional greenhouse gas inventories and tools to guide you. So if you know transportation is the second highest sector, you can say, what can we do in that area? But you don't necessarily have to have your own greenhouse gas emissions to be effective in sustainability action. Again, climate action plans, science-based targets, sustainability plan can include community goals. Again, not that they don't, but this is sort of the main underpinnings of the difference in the plan. Climate action plan is always quantitative metrics. Baseline, how are you doing greenhouse gas emissions over time? Sustainability plan would have those quantitative metrics if you have the ability to track them, but they may also include qualitative measures like number of miles of bike lanes or trees planted or reduction in recycling contamination. Those are all sustainability measures. And go back to that slide for a second. The focus for this workshop and for the Greenest Region Compact is towards the sustainability plan. We're going to look at, and you please, if you want to do a climate action plan, you have the resources and the bandwidth in your community. But if having the baseline greenhouse gas inventory or the modeling tools is a barrier, please just work on the sustainability plan and let us help you with making that relevant to climate. So the focus here will be on municipal sustainability planning. Any questions thus far on climate action plans, sustainability plans? Use the microphone, please, and just press it to turn green.
Just a quick clarification. You mentioned that adaptation is in some of the climate action plans, but is it that the adaptation plans that we may see are mostly in service to the climate action for both the climate action planning and sustainability? So in service to quality of life as well, instead of general, maybe adaptation as a goal?
Right. So in terms of having a baseline climate risk and vulnerability assessment, the climate pollution reduction grant, I don't know if Erin wants to address why it didn't include adaptation, but that's primarily what I was getting at. Right. Do you want me to say, you want to say anything?
That program was just allotted under the Inflation Reduction Act, and that was what we were given from Congress. And so in that, we were told to reduce emissions. So that's, but there are other programs like you saw, like NOAA and other things that have done adaptation. There have also been adaptation programs through EPA, but just that particular program, it was just how the money was tied. So don't read too much into it.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. I will go on. And so now let's take a closer look at the Greenest Region Compact Framework. So you have copies of this on your table, and we're going to work on sheets now, but if you'll just watch the slides here to see how to use this tool. It's pretty simple, actually. So the Greenest Region Compact Framework, as I said, all the research that we did, all that analysis and those 1,149 sustainability goals, it all got put into here in a streamlined, we hope, well-organized way, and it's getting better with our update. But this contains all 49 Greenest Region Compact sustainability goals. And the framework says these are strategies for getting them done. And the thing about the strategies, they're all focused on municipalities, and they're all a go, no-go. You can get it done. In other words, this is a big to-do list, and you can check it off. It is also a fundamental framework, but it's something that's simplistic. You can do them. You can find references to how to get them done. And then because we pulled in all of those, that assessment that says, here's all the things that municipalities do on sustainability, I guarantee you, your municipality has done some things. And so the first step, which is really fun, is to go through and use that already achieved column. And again, this is a spreadsheet you can sort and filter to see what you've done. And what that tells you then for a community is your baseline. So there's your baseline assessment. And many communities have put a little polish on it and called it our sustainability report. Easy to do. And there may be some things on the Greenest Region Compact that you've done that aren't covered, but it really gets you thinking. And then the Greenest Region Compact Framework has these prompts for you using this as a tool with your own timeframes and priorities and assignments to begin planning. And I love these two examples of actual municipalities using the Greenest Region Compact Framework. And Monica, before your time, but we love the Schaumburg one because they took the Greenest Region Compact Framework spreadsheet, put it on a shared drive, and then integrated their own plans. And the sustainability director at the time said didn't realize arts and culture was a part of it, so they integrated their own arts priorities and plans and made it their own. They also added a column and said what department is in charge of this. So again, great example of how to use it. We also have, if you want to just mark it up, which is what we're going to start with today with pen and ink, the village manager in LaGrange was challenged by the Environmental Quality Commission to let's get going on the Greenest Region Compact. And so she said, let me see this. And she did a quick markup and made her own notes, as you can see there, but felt pretty good about where the village was in terms of sustainability planning. And then if you want to put the time in, we think it's self-directed to be able to do this, but then you can create a full-on sustainability plan using the Greenest Region Compact Framework as your foundation. And so we have at least 24 sustainability plans that we have tracked that have been built on the Greenest Region Compact in the region. The newest one, and I'm pointing this out because Mayor Burns also grew up in Arlington Heights here, but Arlington Heights came up with a plan. I didn't add these pictures. This is front pages from their plan, but they referenced the Greenest Region Compact Framework, how they used it. They also used NCS as a national community survey and put this in for Aaron and Victor from EPA that referenced our PCAP that was done with US EPA funding. So this is a terrific example of a plan. We have some on our website that we love to share. And if you've got one that you didn't tell us about, please let us know so we can share that. But that's what a full sustainability plan looks like for a municipality. And anything that works for you. This is a framework. If it's a few pages, if it's 10 things you want to do, if it's an elaborate plan over multi-years, that's fine too. But this is the tool to help you get you where you want to go. Another story that I like is Wilmette, and I more like this story, even though the sustainability plan is great and been adopted by the village board and working, and they're in implementation phase. But if you look at the story there, it was a really interesting interaction between the Environment and Energy Commission, who said, please, to the village board, can we move on sustainability? The village board endorsed the GRC and gave it back to the Energy Environment Commission to take a first crack at the sustainability planning, and they worked with staff and it was adopted, and it's terrific. So that's been the Greenest Region Compact to date, and we're very proud of the accomplishment, and it works. But it's 10 years old, and we've had all this climate action planning. So we are very grateful. We've had a few inputs over time into the Greenest Region Compact and never had the chunk of time to get this done. But now that all the climate action planning is done, we were very fortunate to have partnership. And Gabrielle is going to raise her hand here. She was one of the lead students on this. Do you want to just say what you did real quick?
So, we students, we basically got the opportunity to take a look at the GRC for a capstone for the Environmental Studies Department. And we went through it and we were asking a lot of questions about, is this relevant to the current climate? So a couple of them we're looking at, we're like, oh, this program doesn't exist anymore. And so we were taking that information and going through and deciding if we thought it should be kept, updated, merged, or deleted. And then we submitted these reports to the MMC with our findings, and they took the information and came up with this.
We're working on it now. So students are giving us assignments, just saying. But they also interviewed Greenest Region Compact users and spent time with 6 or 8 municipalities. Was it? You did too. But it was really robust. And so we're still processing this information. You just finished in May. So we have hot off the presses, kind of, sort of, not really formatted the way we want, not 100% complete, but we really scurried for this workshop to at least integrate some of the updates. And Tori and Juliet have some sheets there that we'll work through. But this is, so you got a quick introduction to how the Greenest Region Compact framework works or worked. And I'll show you what we're doing to update it. So in our climate action plan, I said everything is focused on a municipality, what they can do. And we came up with these cute icons and really framework for what are the municipal levers, how do they get things done? So everything is either a municipality leads by doing, encourages others to do, meaning your constituents or your residents, or they enact codes and policies. So we decided, and the NIU students said, it's squishy in terms of who's in charge of what, and it was. We said a lot of collaborate and participate and things like that. So we decided we would clean it up and just frame all of the strategies with this lead, encourage, and enact to clarify who's in charge and how you get things done. Then this is how we integrate climate action planning. So as I said, some strategies have high greenhouse gas emission potential, and some of them are important to your community. So we will add more information about the impact. So is this going to be a cost savings for the municipality over time? Is it going to be expensive? How will it address equity? And so we're going to have information about what each strategy does in terms of the impact of your community. And then we also got from the NIU students a little bit more feedback on how to prioritize. So we're going to say level of effort. This is a great one to do, but it's really challenging. Or we came up with this one, easy wins. So we're going to star strategies that are really quick things that you can do that are meaningful. And all of the strategies are going to be refreshed. So as Gabrielle said, some of the programs aren't around anymore. We found there's been a lot of movement on electrification. It's really not addressed in the old Greenest Region Compact. EVs were minimally addressed, and that's all changed over time. So we're refreshing those strategies and streamlining, trying to condense a little bit, but we're going to leave the goals intact. Anybody want to guess why we're not touching the goals? Mayor Burns, were you paying attention? No?
Well, the question was, do I want to comment on why we're not?
Why we're not updating the Greenest Region, the 49 Greenest Region Compact goals, because
because 49 is enough. But
we have 166 adopters of the Greenest Region Compact already. And so we don't want to have to refresh that whole, process of a new resolution. So we're going to make things fit, and it's working pretty well. But we want to build on that foundation. So, and then finally, where we're going towards the end, and this is not ready yet, but we've been going towards this for a long time. We always wanted to have a model or tracking and reporting system. And years ago, we had a task force of Mayor's Caucus Environment Committee members that said, here's how we should do it. We've done a lot of thinking about it. We've joined something called the Sustainable States Network, which are groups like the Sustainable Jersey program to learn how they do tracking and reporting. But this program that we really admire is something done at the state level. This is a very robust program. They have, it's 14 or 17 staff. They have 460 municipalities in the program, but it's an online platform where municipalities register their actions, provide documentation saying, this is what we said we want to do, this is what we did. There's tools to say, what did you get done? And so there's a report card. And that's what we envision. We hope to be able to do that as part of the CPRG as we go to, to downscale that and make it meaningful. And with that, we're done with my 30-minute 30-minute presentation. And we've got time for a little discussion. So does anybody have questions? Please.
Yeah, so I guess following on what you just said about not updating it, my question is, and this platform, what is the ask then for existing adopter communities of the GRC? Are we going to be asked to fill out the new updated or do something online, fill out this platform?
We don't have the platform yet. So that's where we're the 2 steps to that. So we're going to update the Greenest Region Compact, which we've already started. So we're going to add in new strategies. So you don't have to adopt a new resolution supporting the Greenest Region Compact goals. The goals won't change, but in the format, we're kind of going back to adding more strategies and refining them. So the big picture, the support efficient transportation that uses resources wisely, that won't change. The strategies will. So you have more to choose from as a municipality, more ways to get to that goal.
So is this just optional for us
It is
to
optional.
do? Or are you going to be asking us to submit something like?
Not
do
yet.
something? Okay.
Not yet. No, the Greenest Region Compact still exists as a fully voluntary program. Adopt the Greenest Region Compact if you choose to in your municipality. We think it's a good idea. Use the framework if you choose to in your municipality. And so for numbers, we have 166 adopters of the Greenest Region Compact. To our knowledge, we have some 26 municipalities that have used the framework for an assessment. That's voluntary. Using the framework is fully voluntary. If it's useful to you, I'm just saying that voluntary tool will get better. It will get better and be more integrated and take in climate action planning. So it's there simply as a tool. A year or more down the road, we hope to have a platform that you could enroll in if you choose to and say, even if you only picked 5 goals, you can say, we want to do these 5 things and we're a Greenest Region Compact community. And then you can, back Mayor Burns, we had a task force and people said, we want to be able to tell the community what we're doing. So that's what the reporting platform will be. So you can say, so when Bob Israel brags about what they're doing in Northbrook, you can say, well, here's what we did in Winnetka, or here's what we did in Maywood. That's the reason for it, is to be able to have transparency.
And I would cheer you on.
Thank you. That's an interesting, yeah, I guess so, but that's a good suggestion. We made note of that one.
Edith, could you repeat that question and then your answer as well?
Sure. Do you want to speak into the microphone? Cheryl has something, yeah.
I was asking if the online tool might be useful for comparing to other villages or municipalities to see how you measure up. I think that could help motivate towns to see where they're lacking or, what other towns are doing.
And to your question, that does happen organically, as you could imagine, particularly those of you who are either appointed or engaged citizenry of this effort. I will hazard a guess that you're all talking to each other privately saying, what are you doing? How are you doing it? How did you get that far? What's the magic answer to get your, quote, part-time politicians to move on this?
Oh, you got one? Okay, sorry.
If that action were available to others rather than just
Yes,
informally.
Agreed.
Cheryl, did you want to?
Yes, we do have an online question. When is the estimated timeline for when the updated GRC strategies will be available? It's from Leanne in Westchester.
That's a good question. And we worked really hard up until Friday, the team did, on quick slapdash getting the strategies updated. I think it'll take another month or 2 before we have a Greenest Region Compact framework spreadsheet. We want to have some time for feedback. Your experiences and feedback today is what we're also hoping to inform that. So we don't plan to spend too long to get that tool together because it's a simple update.
So Edith, I'm wondering from your experience, you've been working with these goals and strategies for a long time and seeing what different municipalities have done with them. I'm curious if there are any where you don't see them getting enough love, like say everybody's picking these 3 or 4, but you're wondering, having put them together, why aren't more people doing this?
That's a good one. What we find is that there's a lot of focus on the climate action, so energy. Is there some that are not getting enough love? It seems to me that the transportation is an area that could be better integrated. It seems like transportation planning happens, but we don't see a lot of the sustainability commissions and plans kind of reporting on that, if I can say that. Another one that's challenging just because it's squishy in a beautiful way is the sustainable communities category. People are doing it. We don't have a lot of actions, and sustainable communities is the people portion of the GRC. So that's one that's a little bit harder to kind of measure and track and fully integrate. But the water section is one that is also, we don't see a lot of municipal sustainability leaders super excited about water. That seems to be kind of segregated if you have a water utility, when it comes to water conservation. But that's a good question. Well, just a fun fact, so there is a leadership category. When I put together the Greenest Region Compact, we kept seeing municipal sustainability plans saying, we want to make a difference, we want to lead, and so there's a leadership category there. So that's just kind of a neat one that happened organically. And Gabby, one more comment on the comparison. The scoring system would help with that, and we do that a little bit with EV readiness. So the EV readiness program, if you have bronze, silver, or gold, that's one way of comparing, and then your actions and points with the dashboard.
I was going to ask that question about the bronze, silver, and gold. That's for each category?
We don't have that yet, but that is what Sustainable Jersey has. We have that for the EV readiness program. SoulSmart did that, and it worked. You could get bronze for just doing a great job and accomplishing the really important task. And if you want to do more, it's silver. And if you want to do still more, it's gold. So that's kind of a common framework, and those programs exist. So any SoulSmart communities here know what your level is? Rockford is your gold. Yeah. It still is the highest that's available. So that's kind of how you do comparison and motivate. And we have some communities who's EV ready. University Park, Mayor. Didn't you just say you were going to go from bronze to gold? I'm to silver?
Apologies for my raspy voice this morning, so I'm not going to talk much, but we are going to go to the next level. Absolutely.
Thank you. We're looking forward to having you. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. Kristen Voorhees, I'm an independent scientific consultant. So I'm here to actually look for ways I can add capacity to any of these communities or the efforts. But my question is along the lines of the earlier question, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've seen communities face? And is there any repository of those stories that you could be sharing, like a FAQ, like, hey, common challenges people come up against and what's been done in other communities to help address those?
Yeah, and I guess we could answer that. I can answer that, but I think that might be something that for dialogue, not to bump that back to you, but just to kind of keep things moving so that I'm not the expert up here, but you can talk about that, what the strategies are, just to answer really quickly. We have two programs participant and leaders over there in the corner. So if Cheryl wants to talk about the challenges with advanced building energy really briefly on the ABEEP task force, and then if Tori's still here, we can talk about energy efficiency. Those are kind of two comparative areas.
Yeah, so for the Advanced Building Energy Efficiency Policies Task Force, that is one way to achieve some of the goals in the energy section. We meet with about 25 municipalities who are interested in adopting the stretch code or considering the stretch codes, and also interested in benchmarking for existing building energy usage and building performance standards. That's something that if any municipality is interested in joining to find out more, just let me know and I can add you to that email list. And Edith, let me know if you need any more information on that.
Yeah, Mike, just to answer the question about what's challenging, building energy codes, it was in the original Greenest Region Compact. We have a partnership with MIA, Slipstream to advance stretch code. Building energy efficiency, when I started this years ago, was one of the most effective things that a municipality can do. It's really hard. Stretch code is really challenging. We've been working at it. Whereas there's Tori now to talk about residential energy efficiency. And electrification. And Cheryl and I were working together and learned the first greenhouse gas emissions said 24% of building emissions come from residential energy. And it just so happened that there were all these utility programs that were available to help. And so now through an evolution of grants and research that we've done, and we hired Tori to do outreach, now municipalities can share information about low-income energy efficiency. We're partnering with Rockford and DeKalb and University Park, sharing information with your constituents. And it's kind of an easy win. It's still a little bit of work, but the utilities have money. You know how to get to your constituents. Tori can help you. Those are things that are going well. So just two examples on kind of the extreme and they're both in the GRC.
So kind of answer to, sorry, I don't know, what was your name?
Kristen.
Kristen. Kind of an answer to, at least from our perspective, I'm representing Village of Montgomery, which is a western suburb. Challenges on our end is if there's ways to double dip with the resources and budget when it comes to sustainability initiatives. And maybe a little bit of a question for you is in that template it doesn't necessarily have to be in the template, but is there a way that you can like if we wanted to sell these ideas on initiatives to the board or how to prioritize our budget, a way that we can double dip in a way. I feel like that's going to be kind of more convincing, more compelling if we can say, hey, we do this initiative, but it also benefits what we're doing in other areas already. So it's like two birds with one stones. If there is maybe a way in the template or a handout or something to where like, hey, you can make an argument for this sustainability initiative if you frame it in such a way so that it like complements other initiative that any municipality would do anyways.
So leverage benefits.
Yeah, something like
We
that.
have that in the climate action plan. That's a good suggestion to put that in there. But some ways, just to talk about leverage, we like the Soul Smart model, right? So Schaumburg was able to achieve all this development in their community, which is what the solar development was like. We had another municipality that was tracking the permit revenue, for that. And what's the investment in the housing stock in the community? That just needs to be articulated, I think is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And on our EV readiness program to kind of talk about leverage benefits, we kind of have this framework of, it's like Soul Smart, do the things that municipalities have strength and authorities for on EVs. Right now, ComEd, and we have a congressional earmark, is paying for the technical assistance, but participating, we make sure that you're aligned with, and Cheryl, this is the deadline today, who's been scrambling to try to help the EV-ready communities access funding that's available for EV charging. So that's kind of I think what you're looking at for leverage benefits as well. Is that what you mean by double dipping?
Yeah. Is there resources or funding available for if you wanted to get baseline carbon accounting for your municipality?
I am not aware of it. Okay. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's not entirely true. We'll get into that a little bit, I think. In tomorrow's tomorrow's Environment Committee, we're talking with CMAP about their comprehensive climate action plan, and they did a regional greenhouse gas inventory. In the 2019 inventory, they downscaled it for municipalities, and I meant to insert that slide in here, and I'm sorry I didn't, but we can do that in the follow-up. But CMAP produced snapshots. So while not a full-on greenhouse gas inventory, and Jen, I don't know if you were with CMAP when they did that, but you want to talk about it? I mean, it was an amazing tool.
Sure. I don't know. You probably know a lot more about it than I do, but I'll say I was just looking at it recently. The Village of Glencoe is in process of a sustainability action plan, which I'm curious on your thoughts of straddling the two. But we went to the municipal summaries from 2019 to kind of gut check our baseline data. We were using 2016, and I'll just say it's just well known that CMAP data is very trusted and it's done the same. And I reached out to CMAP staff and they're updating it this year as well. So I think that's a good tool for everybody to just kind of realize you don't have to get like really in depth into complicated GHG analysis. This data is already out there.
Exactly. And certainly enough for guidance. And, because it's a community snapshot, it takes the regional data and it downscales it. So whereas I said, currently it's 17% of the energy efficiency, the emissions from buildings that come from residential sector might be different in your community. Maybe you have larger houses, maybe you have older drafty homes. You do get focus for your community as well as transportation. Do you have a transit stop or not? So that's enough for you to say, okay, I'm going to work with Tori on residential energy efficiency, or we're going to be collaborating to make transit more accessible. So yeah, so I take that back in terms of grant funding, no, but using data, yeah, it's there. And we think it's been really valuable and appreciate CMAP. So, okay, last burning question, otherwise I think we should move on. Okay, so we were going to ask, and I will ask the group, any questions online that we missed? Online, I'm supposed to look at the camera.
I think we could probably, while we're getting the group set up, we might be able to answer via chat.
Okay. All right, so so we would like to spend some time in the workshop. And some of you said you have a sustainability plan. So I wonder if you have an existing sustainability plan and you're here to help, if you would stand up. Or yeah, if you have if you feel like, oh, you don't want to help. Right, Brad, I'm hoping to get some help. Okay, so then for those mostly municipalities here that would like to explore developing a sustainability plan or actively moving in that direction, would you stand up? Yay. Yeah, you don't have to get it done today, but if you'd like to sort of, you could be a focal community. I was going to ask you to stay standing because we're going to redistribute a little bit. So, and then we have a lot of advisors in the room who are here. They said they want to help, they want to learn more. So what we would like to do is to have the municipalities redistribute themselves at a table. And those of you who either have already done your sustainability plan or climate action plan, if you would join a table. So maybe Rockford, ready to go. Talk about what's next on sustainability plan, join Brad. So that's how we're hoping to do it. So if you would, again, municipalities, why don't you stand up and shout out your municipality in case you have loyalties. You want to help them. So Rockford, Brad. Montgomery. Anyone else want to be University Park? They'll take the help. Maywood, Westmont. Anyone over here? Who needs help? Schaumburg. Okay. Schaumburg, Maywood, Westmont, Montgomery, Rockford. Any others? Any municipality needing help? That's it for municipalities that want help? Oh, Richton Park, come on down. Do you want your own table? People will help you. Yeah. Or Westmont, you can move, whoever wants to move. Maywood, so yeah, let's put University Park, Richton Park, and if those of you, they're really nice, so if you want, Glenn, you can stay there. But if anybody else wants to join these communities, and again, Rockford, University Park, Richton Park, Montgomery, Maywood, Westmont, Schaumburg. Did we miss anybody? Okay, so if you could shuffle a little bit and then we'll tell you what we're going to do here, so. Mike. So Juliet has a big awkward pile of sheets, like I said, really fresh, hot off the presses like this, the ink is still dry.
Yep. Yeah, so if you can join one of those municipalities, shuffle around so you can meet some more people, that would be great. And then I will come around and pass out. We are focusing on 5 of the different topics. So I have a stack of papers for everyone.
And like I said, it's a big awkward shuffle here. But once you get into a group, if you want to, we have 5 of the shorter, more succinct categories available for you to actually workshop. So you'll get a paper copy of the GRC framework and you can mark it up. So if helpful, if this is the way you want to work with your group, perhaps you could consider, in the case of Montgomery, what might be helpful, or use an imaginary community if nobody has the knowledge there. Sorry, Woodridge is there too. So Woodridge and Montgomery together. So look at that checklist and then maybe start with the assessment saying, oh, I think we did this, and just mark that up. and then start to select strategies that make sense. And again, if it's too awkward or too big of a table to work with municipalities, subdivide and use the tool in any way that's helpful for you. This is a workshop we're hoping to help you all at. We have about 50 minutes now. 45, excuse me, not even 50 minutes, about a half hour to workshop this. So and for online, are we? Taylor?
I was a member of our Environmental Concerns Commission. We had an incoming village president who disbanded our commission. So I want to help the effort to kind of update what's happening in Villa Park and see if I can inspire or advocate for more action. Part of the problem we have is we have some Village of Villa Park has some serious budget issues. So looking for kind of low cost solutions, low cost ways of further or implementing the regional climate action plan. And that's it for me.
I'm happy to go next. My name is Melanie Nutter. I'm the principal of Nutter Consulting. We work a lot with municipalities, helping them
Hello, everyone. Is everyone clear on what you all should be doing?
I'm not sure if there were additional instructions that might have been given after we were put in the breakout room.
Yeah, so pretty much, and I threw it in the chat, but I can put it in the chat again here. So in person, we essentially printed out 5 sections of the GRC for everyone to workshop and just brainstorm ideas on how to improve the sections. So to do this online, I will throw the framework in here, and you all, depending on your interests, feel free to either focus on one section, focus on a few, and the sections that we are going to be workshopping today are the energy section, the climate, mobility, municipal operations, and waste and recycling. So if there are any of those sections in particular that really piques anyone's interest, I would say focus on that. I'll share my screen to explain a little bit more. Okay, so here you can see this is the climate section. So like Edith mentioned in the opening presentation, we are not looking to change any of the goals because our municipalities that have adopted the GRC, they adopted these goals. So we don't want to make that more complicated for the municipalities that have adopted it. But we are looking to update these objectives and strategies. We have been workshopping the framework. So this is actually the old version. But we just didn't have time to upload it before today's workshop, but this will do just fine. We haven't implemented too many changes. But again, yeah, we're looking to, get rid of any action items that may be, like a program that's not around anymore or redundant or just isn't really applicable to municipal action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are basically kind of going through and doing what you all are doing in parallel, basically. So we're also providing feedback on. Okay, gotcha.
Yep. Yeah, that would be great. And I'm handling the online breakout room, so I'm happy to stay on if no one else is on or wants to speak up, Leanne. So, okay. Alrighty. Leanne, is there a particular, out of those 5 sections that I named, is there one that really sticks out to you that you'd like to?
Yeah, I think the waste and recycling is probably the one that I've got most familiarity with in the community.
Yeah. Okay, great. And I can share my screen just so that everyone can see.
I think it starts on page 24.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah. So this is it's a long-ish section. And then again, we didn't even touch the links, but at a later date, if there are any links that you open and they're not relevant anymore or broken, that would be a good thing to let us know.
Okay.
Let's see. And Leanne, remind me of your position, the Village of West.
Yeah, no, I'm on the Ecological Commission.
Okay. I wonder if we met back in January. I actually came and gave a presentation on the ComEd and Nicor Gas Home Energy Savings Program.
Oh, okay. I remember that event, but I was not there.
Okay.
So thanks for coming out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I thought it was great. Let's see. Yeah, so just going through the different goals and the different sections, if you see any of the actions that could be improved in any way to make, the strategy more concrete, and easier for you all to implement, or if there's a strategy that maybe is not even on here that would fit in one of the categories of the goals, that would be
Okay.
yeah, just let me know, and I'm going to open my OneNote so I can take any notes.
Okay. I'm going to warn you, I'm a slow processor.
That's okay. I know it's a lot to take in.
I'm probably going to like come up with 5 things after the meeting's over.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I'll actually pull up our working section, and I can let you know kind of what changes we've implemented into this section.
Okay.
Okay, I'm actually going to reshare my screen so you can see. Okay, so this is obviously a rough draft. We're getting there with the formatting. But as you can see, just on a formatting basis, we're actually getting rid of objectives and advanced strategies. When we worked with Northern Illinois University, we interviewed a handful of municipalities, and that just seemed to be confusing for municipalities that have adopted it. So they're just generally all strategies.
Okay.
And then let's see. And then we also cleaned up like these sidebars to make it more concise. And then, like Edith mentioned, we also kind of to reflect the level of municipal engagement or involvement in the action, we implemented the lead, encourage, and enact.
I really like the addition of that.
Yeah.
And the impact, effort, and easy win sections. I really like that you guys did that.
Yeah, I think it just adds a lot, and it it helps to just determine the municipality's role.
Right. Right. And it helps to sell it.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah. Edith, if you want to come around, we're workshopping. Okay. Edith's going to come over here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we got rid of a few, so we're workshopping waste and recycling. Leanne from Village of Westchester. Okay. We've just been chatting.
Hello.
And I'm showing her just the format changes that we've made. Because the old framework is online. She said she really likes the lead, encourage, and enact. But you and Juliet worked more on this section in terms of the changes that have been made.
It's streamlined a little bit and clarified. We added some strategies.
Yeah.
And we'll get, the updated framework right after the workshop, but.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Yeah, for this one, have you used the framework yet in Westchester?
So we used the old framework to do a baseline.
Okay.
It kind of stalled there because there were some concurrent planning efforts like the strategic plan and a bike plan and an energy plan. So they wanted to really pause on GRC, get all those other plans together and figure out how to align and synergize. And it was like pulling teeth to get the baseline done in the old format. So I'm glad that I'm glad that there's more strategies and that there's, that the improvements have been made. I'm hoping that it doesn't take quite as long to get, V2 completed as it took for the V1.
Yeah, we're hearing that. It sounds like, I mean, when it happens, right? It's good to keep pushing this, but if you've got those other plans, it might be interesting to take the framework and tailor it and say, okay, well, what is the goal in our plan that already exists, and replace that, because the framework is only a prompt, right? It's just an idea that says, let's pick one. Does anything in waste think you've done?
In particular, we've done like a community garage sale. So like in the old one, it's WR5.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're starting curbside compost. So we're doing stuff.
Yeah, you're doing stuff.
Yeah.
That's great. And there may not be a plan for that, but that's integrating with strategies from a West Central Municipal Conference, if that's your West Central Solid Waste Agency that you're collaborating with. So maybe not so much of a plan there, but in other areas like the Solid Waste Agency would have a, waste reduction goal. And so you might pull in those specific recommendations for
I
your.
forgot about the solid waste agencies. Totally forgot that that we participate in those.
Right. Well, that's why, it's a very tedious list to go through.
Yes.
We'll remind you of things there because I think there's a collaborate with a solid waste agency here. Because sometimes they're leading, I think we put that in. Engage with solid waste agencies. That's actually a strategy. So sometimes they do the thinking and the programming for you. Maybe you can participate in the planning and that's how to achieve that one. So yeah, it's very comprehensive when you think about how to move things forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really loved the idea of putting this as a shared document on like the village SharePoint and having, different departments that are the subject matter experts in these different areas, having them have the ability to change this and be prompted by it too is really nice. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and we haven't filled out the impact or the effort required columns, but we have started going through and marking items like the low hanging fruit as easy wins. So that could be like if there's a particular section that maybe the commission hasn't done a ton on, but you would like to become involved. Let's just say like land, for instance. Those easy wins would be a great way to start and get involved in the section.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Awesome.
This is great. Thanks so much for all your work on this.
Oh my gosh, of course. Yeah, thanks for attending. I know we've tried to make the online experience just as impactful as the in-person experience. We understand that it's not feasible for everyone to come out for 3 hours in the middle of their work week. So thanks for attending.
Oh yeah, my pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity to be involved. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. Well, I'm going to pop into another breakout room.
Thanks for spending time with me.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks for being willing to come off mute and chat a little bit.
All right, Tori. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Hi, Tori.
It looks like you all were discussing. I just wanted to pop in and see if you all needed some clarification on what we kind of asked of you. I know it's a little trickier since you all are online. So I had put the link to the framework in the group chat or the Zoom chat. And essentially in the rooms in person, we had printed out 5 sections of the GRC framework, and everyone is essentially just going through and providing recommendations, any changes that you may make. Leading up to this workshop, we've been trying to implement changes already. So the one online looks even a little different from what our working copy looks like right now. But the 5 sections that we are focusing on today are climate, energy, municipal operations, mobility, and waste and recycling. So if there's any of those sections in particular that you all feel passionate about or really feel like you could give some good feedback on, that would be great. And I will quickly share my screen to our working copy to kind of show some of the format changes that we're already implementing to give you a better idea. And then I will leave you all to it.
Got it.
Oops. So, hold on. Okay. So I will flip over to energy. So if you all are looking at the online framework, one of the big differences right off the bat in terms of format, we actually got rid of the objectives and advanced strategies. When we worked with Northern Illinois University, we did a variety of, several municipal interviews, and differentiating between strategy, objective, and advanced strategy was just confusing. So we decided to get rid of those, and now everything is just generally a strategy. And then, like Edith mentioned in her presentation, we also are implementing the Lead, Encourage, and Enact, which is found in our climate action plan. This kind of acts as a good indicator on the level of involvement for the municipality for each action, which I think is very helpful. And then we're also adding impact, effort required, and easy win. So we're still working on impact and effort required, but easy win we've started to mark as kind of the low-hanging fruit. So let's say you're just getting into energy work, you're not really sure where to start. The easy wins may be a good action item to start, as it's requires like the least amount of effort to start doing so. And then finally, to reiterate also what Edith said, we're not looking to change any of the goals, as our municipalities that have adopted the GRC, they had to go through a whole process to adopt it. So we don't want to overcomplicate things for municipalities who have already adopted the framework. We're just looking to make changes to these strategies. So overall, if there's anything that you think is redundant or a program that may not be relevant anymore that's mentioned in here, or just any sort of updates, we really would appreciate your input. So I will stop there and see if anyone has any questions. And if not, I will leave you all to it. Okay. Right. Oh. You all are muted in the conference room. Okay. Alrighty. Well, thanks all for attending, and we look forward to hearing your comments.
street or a non-tree lined street. And that helped us dig into like, well, where are there trees and where are there not trees? Where are there high climate heat islands? And where are there places where people can walk safely from all different kind of backgrounds, vulnerable populations? And we kind of went through all these different categories to try to find the things that we were hearing, whether it was park spaces, even if the park spaces were established in 2013, they're park spaces and they're not at risk of development. So they may not feel like they're up to date or they're fully maintained with all the trails and bike paths, but they're there and they are, could be in progress. So we were kind of just walking through, again, even when water came up, we were talking about how there's some pipes that are, the infrastructure underneath the roads is not able to handle the capacity of the water, and there's leaks and there's water being lost just regularly that we have a number for, but we have a concern of like, well, how do we prioritize that to a board that has a long list of priorities, that has limited resources, and that has different people with different values, both implicit and explicit, for how they're using those resources. So that's kind of a snippet of what we talked about.
That's a good snippet. Who else wants to share? I know you're not a shy group. Okay, Mayor, how about you, Hanson?
I'm fine right now.
How about Regan? Okay, Regan, don't disappoint us. Otherwise, I'm going to ask my friend from St. Charles, Illinois.
So I think for Richmond Park, the big challenge was, again, identifying funding resources to help us get our sustainability plan done.
Right.
And so that's what our conversation was around, but then it kind of switched to get me focused on identifying all that we have done, which again, I think I was aware that we've accomplished a lot of things, but we haven't brought it all together in the form of a plan that is needed. So still working on how to find the money to.
What we've heard over the last 10 years is there's been a constant political will, financial, human, and resources, all three, focused attention on all the issues. We got so much to do and all the different personalities. How the heck do you guide everybody in the same direction? And it's doggone difficult.
Well, Mayor, I do want to say one thing, that University Park has checked off a lot of the boxes, and we're moving forward in sustainability. We're actually in the process now of putting EV charging stations on the east and the west side of the metro station. They're going into our golf course. We're putting 120 light poles on our main corridor on Cicero Avenue, upgrading to LED stuff. So we're adapting it, and thanks to all the great resources from the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, we'll continue to move forward in that way. As I always say, we're transitioning from the Flintstones to the Jetsons.
You're not old enough to know what those cartoons are.
So Regan, can I challenge you a little bit on the sustainability plan? So I'm not saying you have to do it yourself, but if the barrier is getting funding to do a sustainability plan, do you think you could work with the framework? We'll help you. We'll have a new framework for you. Do you think you could get a sustainability plan that supports your community in the shorter term with the tools in the framework? Because you've already, you got to hold up your energy page. That was pretty impressive. He was checking off like a madman there, all the things they've done. And that doesn't mean when there aren't things to do. So if you've already achieved a lot, there are programs that we can align with. And we talked about working with Tori to help leverage the money from the utilities. And it's a matter of making connections.
Yes, I'm up for that challenge. Again, I have new staff that will be challenged with this particular issue. So,
And if you need some, some muscle with those new staff, Edith. Who else? Fire away. Yeah, we'd love it. Your microphone would be great. Thank you.
We intended to focus our discussion on Montgomery, and our representative had to run. But we focused on how, starting with the framework from the economic development perspective, so that it is easier to, maybe get others on board or convince others, show them what initiatives align with other goals as staff was under the impression that economic development was a major priority of the board. So that was, I think, what the takeaway was for Montgomery. And from the Woodridge perspective, we have filled out the framework. And I think the challenge for me is then to figure out what to do with that information. So, you know, maybe it helps to see the gaps or see where we're doing great. But then what? You know, how do we pinpoint where we're going to go other than at the staff level? You know, we need a little bit more buy-in. So we kind of chatted about how to do that, which I think was why I was thinking it would be cool to have a comparison tool with other municipalities so that somebody outside of, you know, the staff who's really excited about this can say like, oh, look what everyone's doing. But I think also too, kind of the same thing as Montgomery, integrating goals and seeing how there are similarities with what other departments are working on. That is our takeaway.
And first and foremost, celebrate what you're already doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes we get confused with, gosh, we're not doing enough with, oh, heck, look at what we are doing.
Well, right, because it's also integrated. It's hard to, I struggle with saying like, oh, we have to have a sustainability plan because I would, it's just a part of everything else, you know, as long as it's our priority, with every other long-term plan that we're building, maybe we don't need a specific one, or maybe it's great to, you know, put those guidelines out there or those goals out on paper too. So I could go either way, but I'm telling myself we don't need one since we don't have direction to make one and that I can integrate it through the tools I do have.
And Montgomery is going to Lake Michigan water. Do you know that?
Wow.
Yes, they are. So that's a huge. Montgomery, Illinois. They're switching over to Lake Michigan water with our friends in Joliet as well. Bob?
Anyone online?
Bob, Mr. Israel, how about you, big guy? Oh,
Some of the other communities.
oh, some of the other communities.
We don't want to hear from Bob, but no, some of the
No,
other communities online are in the room, sure.
Please do a shameless plug for MPC. I echo what Mayor Burns said. That was everything that you stated, and very succinctly is what we discussed. I would think I would add the difficulty with continuity when boards change, when management changes. You know, it's one thing to create a plan or to make inroads and then have the leadership turn over. If it wasn't for Cheryl, I wouldn't have known about today or the EV chargers that we have applied for. So I thank you for that. So I would add continuity. But we did talk about TODs, transit-oriented developments, briefly, and the MPC is hosting a series, how do we fund TODs in the suburbs, July.
Shameless plug. I wonder
Yes.
who handed those things out.
July 29th at Mount Prospect Village Hall. See this young lady if you would like some more information.
How about we check online? Ladies, anyone online wish to comment? And then we'll head over to our friend. Yeah. Anyone online wish to comment?
Bob or Israel, if you want to elaborate on your comment that you left in the chat, that would be great.
I'll say from Charlton Heston, Soylent Green as people. Sustainability, I think the biggest thing that you have to do is you have to convince people that sustainability in the long term will pay for itself. And it needs to be a sustainable practice. And you know, the village, the community has got to take those steps first.
And we talked about that with our friends over here, Glencoe and elsewhere, but
And we'll try to put those tools in the new frame, the updated framework, where you could go to sort of make those evaluations about return on investment for some of these. Any other participants online, communities that haven't spoken yet? No, nobody wants to raise their hand. Okay, anyone else in the room particularly interested in this question for how can you get from these framework, the sheets that we gave you, and again, recognize we're scurrying to get this updated, but can you see going forward that this could become a sustainability plan for your community? And what would you need? what other resources do you need? Do you need outside funding for it? Do you need more staff? Do you want the tracking tool? Do you need to get your board online? Let's talk a little bit about the path forward. Use the microphone, please.
The framework provides a highly useful discipline for uniformity and tracking and reporting and so on. It's that earlier thing you mentioned about staff resources at the municipal level and the time and so on. You know, no one is sitting around doing, you know, paper things. So that's a serious impediment. But yeah, moving the framework gives us at least a chance to move to a sustainability plan, or at least key elements of it. If you can't do it all, do some of the high level stuff.
Anyone else want to comment on that?
Yeah, I'd just like to piggyback on that a little bit because that's something we talked about too, specifically with regards to tracking and how to establish metrics that could be tracked in-house in the future, you know, in an ongoing way. So something we've been kind of thinking about in Schaumburg as well.
And we certainly welcome input on that, but you know, kind of the vision when we did Soul Smart was that if you could track how many permits you got and you could give us information about the kilowatt capacity of that installation, we could then have a tool that would say, and here's your greenhouse gas emissions reduction. So that was the vision. It has yet to be built, of course, but if you have other inputs on metrics or strategies, this is the time we'd welcome your help. So if I can move on to kind of how to stay engaged with us. So thank you all so much for being here and providing your input. So the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, like I said, we want to work together to be, you know, impactful across the region. So we are going to work on updating the framework. The tracking tool is coming, but we have programs and resources now. So who's on the Environment Committee already participating in the meetings? A couple of you are. We have between 50 to 80 people participate in that, mostly online. And if you're not, please join us. So the committee is mostly focused on municipal members. We do like to have friends and allies periodically, but really the conversation is for municipal members. But we have one tomorrow, which CMAP will be presenting the CCAP, the Comprehensive Climate Action Plan, and it's an opportunity for you to provide some input in what they do with the greenhouse gas inventory going forward. Like, would you like snapshots for your community? So take the QR code and you're welcome to join us. It's a Zoom meeting. We meet once a month on Tuesdays. We've been meeting for years at 9:30, hour-and-a-half meeting, and we get a lot done. If you are interested in the idea of advanced building energy efficiency policies or a BEEP, Cheryl runs that meeting, and we can send information out to you about that as well. Our EV readiness program, we have 3 events in a row today, the Environment Committee tomorrow. And then I touched on the EV readiness program. We're going on our 5th cohort, 45 municipalities that have earned EV readiness. Raise your hand if you're an EV ready community. You should be really proud. Great program and resources, provided ComEd supports us. We'll give you technical assistance. Takes about a year to earn EV readiness, and we have a really fun party to celebrate when you're an EV ready bronze, silver, or gold. And then we have ongoing programs that we want you to engage with. And all of these, again, are related to the Greenest Region Compact strategies. So the other part of the team there, so Juliet or Tori, want to wave briefly. So Tori, do you want to talk just briefly about the low-income energy efficiency programs and electrification and how people can get in touch with you and what you can do to help them?
Yeah, so we do some outreach for a few utility programs. So the first one is the ComEd and Nicor Gas Home Energy Savings Program. Our outreach is a little bit limited for that program, but we also work with ComEd to do outreach for their whole home electric program, and we do outreach around the region. So if that's of any interest to your municipality, getting information out to your residents, feel free to come up to me and speak with me after the meeting. And then we also run the low-income energy efficiency outreach and engagement grants. So this past year, we offered funding to community-based organizations in local governments, $25,000 to do energy efficiency outreach in your own community. So if you would like more information about that, also come up and speak with me after the meeting. Thanks.
Juliet?
I'm gonna stand over here because I can't see everyone. Hi everyone. So I am working on the regional recycling education and outreach campaign. You may have heard of it. It's called Feed the Cart. We have our little mascot here. His name is Loop. He's little, but he has a big personality. But essentially, for municipalities, we have resources, different toolkits, or pre-drafted newsletters that you can share with your residents. And there's a great tool on our website called Recycle Coach. Most of our county, or all of our counties, McHenry is on its way, has that onboarded. Your municipality can get onboarded, but a lot of easy resources for your residents to just take out the confusion of recycling. So reach out to me if you have any questions, and Loop and I would be happy to help you.
Thank you. So with that, I think we can close, and I'll let you say goodbye, but just some logistics on the way out. So we do have, again, composting for food scraps. We have reusable dishes. My team will wash them afterwards. But please take advantage of the recycling, the composting services from Waste Not Composting. Thank you for being here. Please enjoy some other Climate Week events. You found us on the website, and stay engaged. It's not a tour of the rooftop, but you are in the building of the old post office building, which is a remarkable story of renovation and reuse. I worked downtown when this used to be a post office, so to have it come full circle, we have, what's our stats on the largest green roof? Is it the largest in the?
Yeah, it's the largest urban green roof in the city.
In the city. I thought it was bigger than that, but it's 3 acres. It's remarkable. It's a beautiful view. And you can't, the general public can't go, but you're here now and we are happy to take you upstairs. You are free to lunch up there. If you brought a sandwich, you are welcome to join us. Just one of the staff will kind of swipe the elevator so you can get upstairs. If you didn't bring a lunch and you want to hang out in this magnificent, beautiful rooftop garden, there's a food court downstairs. Get some food, and we will also swipe you up so you can hang out there if you'd like to. And wish we had time to give you a tour of the building, but please poke around. It's really an interesting, beautiful rehab building. So with that, Mayor Burns, can I ask you for some closing comments?
My comments in closing will be very brief. A huge thank you to all of you. We appreciate it very, very much. To those online, thank you as well. We value what you do. We understand that sometimes you find it beyond challenging. Sometimes you may sound like the lone wolf in the forest, but keep up the good work. You are important to everything that we're trying to achieve. And without everyone leaning on each other, we wouldn't be able to achieve anything at all. So keep it up. Thank you. Let's go to the rooftop and throw things at people down below.